cazar, construir, cultivar, degrado, excavar, remendar, agora, voy, buscar, cazar, construir, cultivar, degrado, excavar, remendar, agora, voy.
Chopper.
Hello and welcome. Yeah, as the title indicates, yeah. Also, I'm gonna stay on this screen for a second while I do the quick intro. Um, yeah, gonna stream some of the Castle Age bracket from the Blair Community Cup we had recently. I'm not gonna get all the games in tonight. I need to go to bed at a reasonable time, but I'll see how many I can get in, and then hopefully I'll be streaming the rest sometime soon. May have some co-casters showing up at some point during this stream. Or also the next. We'll see how that goes. This is all kind of last minute squeezing it in. But the good news is that despite multiplayer services being down on the servers of Age of Empires, replays still work. So we're gonna head into that. So yeah, Castle Age bracket, 3 teams of 4. I haven't gotten all game recs yet, but I've gotten 2 sets. So we're gonna launch with the first one. I'm not actually sure, or rather, I can't tell based off the recordings what order they were played in, so I'm going to kind of play them in the order that I got them, bottom to top, and hope that's the right order, more or less. We'll see. If not, well, then feel free to jump from the games to the correct game. Once the whole thing is up and there's a whole recording, you can watch the third game I casted, and then the first one, and then the second one, if that's, I don't know. Anyways, yeah. With that, we are going to go ahead and launch in to games. If I can find the correct tab. Yep. So kicking us off here, we have. What are these teams? Hold on. Yeah. See, I labeled it for myself. Forgotten Empires, which are players Lathalion, Dovekey, Raider Red, and Alpha Grip Enjoyer. Whom some of you might still remember as Clef from last year, versus Age of Conquerors featuring T. Lassiter, Darkzak, Kinky Christmas Market, whom I think some of you will know as Daruk from last year. These two guys change their names all the time. And JD. So yeah, we're gonna get this rolling. This game on Black Forest, or rather Rage Forest, I guess technically, is this map generation. And yeah, let me talk about civs first. I really like basically all the civs that got picked here, and I'll go through why. So Mongols obviously are a great civilization for Black Forest. If you can boom them up, Mangadai are so strong. I think their siege is fantastic and stuff like that. So that's a really good civ to pick. Very strong cav. Yeah, just all around a fantastic civ, and Black Forest really gives you the chance to boom up the way you need. Then JD, as Lithuanians, this is maybe one of the weakest civs for this map, and I say that, one of the weakest civs for this map. Lithuanians are insanely strong civ. It's just as far as specific civ strengths go, Lithuanians aren't necessarily a Black Forest civilization, but they do get the extra bonus to their cavalry attack from relics, and you can see, well, this one's probably going to get walled off, so they won't get access. These two are unfortunately back in wood pockets, so that's a bit rough map generation there, as one relic is over here and one over here. So really, the only relic he has a good chance of getting is this one back here for that bonus attack. But even without that bonus attack, ladies are a fantastic unit. Lithuanian Paladin are fantastic. Also, again, if you can boom up incredibly strong Cav Civ, and booming is a huge option. Also, 2 giant pawns here. A lot of fishing options. Now, I don't know these players super well, but I don't think JD is one we're going to necessarily see fish booming. But that would technically be an option, especially with the early wood bonus that Lithuanians get, to get that early dock and really boost that food income. As we see Alpha Grip Enjoyer running his scout through the TC, going to get some good scouting, and it looks like for the time being, he's going to get away with that without losing his scout. Then Turks. Turks, usually actually a flank civ, not a pocket civ, but again, very strong Imperial Age. So if instead of for a fast imp you're going to the pocket and booming, once you get those, you get the bombard towers, you get the extra range bombard cannons, both incredibly strong. Free Hussar is always nice, even if Hussar isn't a huge unit for this map, but especially the cannon power. Gunpowder civilization. There you go. The gunpowder units are fantastic for the Turks. So going to be doing great on closed maps like this. And finally, King Christmas Market as a Byzantines. Incredibly fantastic defensive civ. The stronger buildings are amazing. The cheap trash makes it really easy to hold these early engagements, but also because there's so many infantry civilizations, or Halb Siege specifically, that are so strong on Rage Forest, and you expect to see them in these forest settings, Byzantines have the perfect counter to that with the what are they called? Their unique unit. Oh no, I'm drawing a blank here, guys. Procaster move. Dang it. Hold on, let me look this up real quick. Unique unit. Cataphract, there we go. The cavalry that does trample damage, and with that trample damage, they're so powerful against infantry, where like Halb are still strong against cataphracts, but cataphracts actually trade decently against them. I think Halbs are still more cost effective, but cataphracts are more population efficient. So there's, a trade-off there. If you have gold, if you have the gold, the cataphracts are going to be better. If you're low on gold, Halbs are going to win out ultimately. On the other side, Slavs. Slavs are fantastic Black Forest civ. Probably the strongest Halb Siege, or at least one of the strongest Halb Siege civilizations out there at the moment. Especially with the Druzina Halb, which does AoE damage. So you have your AoE Cav unit versus your AoE Halb unit here, and if those trade, Slav Halbs are going to trade a lot better against cataphracts than most other Halbs. I think they're still going to lose out, but we'll see how it is. Slavs also, though, with the 15% faster farming, that's a crazy farming bonus. And on a map like this, and you can see there's a lot of open space here. If Raider Red can get a big farming eco going, the food is just going to be rolling in. So really good there, and have really good siege as well. And siege ram, something like that, is fantastic on this map. Dovekey with the Georgians, kind of an unfortunate map generation here. She's kind of penned in, not a lot of room. I guess she can expand up north and then maybe out to this pond as long as they hold this area. But Georgians are a really good civ with, I mean, you have the mule cart, which you can move around to whatever resource you need, whether that be wood, gold, stone, or hunt. Not berries. For berries, you do need a mill. But everything else, you can just, move your mule carts around, and creates great efficiency. Also the fortified churches for the extra eco bonus, and then obviously if you can boom them up, and we've already seen this in some of the Imperial Age bracket games, if you can mass up the Manaspa, they just shred everything. There's nothing that can stop that. So again, on a closed map where you have a guaranteed boom for your pocket, pretty much, that's really solid. Lathalion here in the really deep pocket, actually. Super nice booming spots for Lathalion and Turk and Darkzak in specific. With the Khmer. Khmer also, you know, fantastic. A lot of eco bonuses, but also one of the things that makes them so great on Rage Forest is a Ballista Elephant, which, you know, again, takes some time to mass, but you've got the boom time. You mass them up. Even one or two are fantastic for cutting through forest as you need to create new paths. But then in mass, they just annihilate everything. And then no, thank you, bot. I don't want any paid promote. Whatever. And then finally, Alpha Group enjoys the Goths. Again, you know, bit of a boomisive, but really strong. Where if you can get that eco rolling smoothly at the end, what you're gonna end up with is just the insane infantry spam, right? Just being able to spam Huskarl out of all the barracks with your unique text in place is so powerful. All that being said, the map generation is very interesting, where you have a lot of players pretty far back and a lot of kind of space in the middle that they'll kind of need to move into as they move out. Now, I like that Forgotten Empires have already walled off. You see, Alpha Group Enjoyer has the two walls up here, and a scout actually in front of that, scouting a bit and winning an engagement against T. Lassiter's Mongol scout here. At the same time, Dovekey, very forward walls, like the house wall behind, adding the second layer, but also securing all this area. As I mentioned before, she's kind of in a cramped starting spot, so having this area to expand to will be super nice. And also, Raider Red with the slabs getting some walls down to secure his eco. On the other side, not as much walling. We do have Kinky Christmas Market with the Byzantines going for a palisade wall as well. Kind of a little bit of no man's land here in the middle. I like the tower addition. It's solid. It adds a little bit of extra defense. It means that your enemy can't just send a scout or send an infantry to whack this wall down. It does cost some stone early, but you know, this is Black Forest. You have time to get that back if you want to. So I think it's a reasonable alternative in this game to put that up there. Yeah, and so we're gonna have a bit of a calm section here, probably. You know, very boomy map. A little bit of engagement here as we see Alpha Grip Jorah's Scout does go down to the Spearman, but gets good damage on T. Lassiter's Scout, and they did force out a fair amount of military early from T. Lassiter, which is going to slow down his eco a bit. But most players now mostly focus, as you can see, most with the exception, you know, you have a couple spearmen here and a couple units here from T. Lassiter, but most players really focusing on getting their ecos up, starting some of that farming eco up. Yeah, chopping away those straggler trees, going to stone, going to gold. I don't know if I missed that. I assumed this. Maybe. This mill, I don't know if there was a shorefish right here that the villagers were taking from. If so, this mill is fantastic. If not, you just have the berries and some, but then the mill placement right here might have been even a little bit better to get those berries and that shorefish, which are the fastest food source in the game. We do have men-at-arms incoming for the deep park at Darkzak, so maybe looking to go infantry here, or maybe just setting up a little bit to defend himself. Don't have a lot for it. Oh, we do have some pressure coming out here, though, and actually, Alpha Grip Enjoyer forced into a tower, and that's going to get denied by this archer here. So walls are slowly coming down, and he's going to have to figure out more villagers coming now. The tower will go up. Looks like a couple of spearmen go down. Ooh, but it's open now. It's open. See if he rewalls that. No, but it looks like the tower will push away this little bit of army. Would really like to see Alpha Grip Enjoyer rewalling that. That's open, which means anything can run through. And maybe adding a second layer of wall behind as well. But looks like just a military defense will do it. Yeah, big boom here. We have Lathalion as first player going to 2 TCs. Really liking the farm placement here, very neat. And market, so maybe looking to start up trade early from here. Yeah, trade lines are going to be a bit wacky. I guess the best trade line that Forgotten Empires has to trade off is maybe from the back of Lethalion's base down to here somehow. And the same, this one is even worse. Like, they have no clean trade line. The best they get is kind of from T. Lassiter's base up here down to Kinky Christmas Market, but they'll probably want to cut to make that cleaner if they actually want to get trade rolling. But we'll see how that goes. Yeah, very interesting map generation. I think all the players that have them could consider docking the pawns, or not even necessarily docking if they don't want to. Fish booming is a bit weird and forces you to manage your eco differently. But grabbing those shorefish. Hey Maz! Good evening to you too. Yeah, it's maybe sort of finally getting that rolling again. Recasting some games from a tournament we had this past weekend. So yeah. How you doing? Lots of eco upgrades coming in here, and Lethalion actually going for, I think that was Bloodlines. Yeah, early Bloodlines coming in. Okay. Lots of booming, lots of farms. Looks like Kinky Christmas Market is looking to get a castle early here. He's on stone. And I think we'll see early castle. You know, we have a lot of players going to stone, and it's well, not all. No, yeah. Dropping a castle early is really nice to secure some land in Castle Age. Oh, would like a closer mining camp here. But it's also, you know, gives you the buildings you need to go up to Imperial Age, so reasonable to do and get that eco rolling. Oh no. Oh, that's unfortunate, Maz. Well, I hope the sick kid gets better soon and that you manage to finish up work. It is late, dude. It is late. Oh, look at this. JD Scout is actually forward in front of those walls. He could be looking around. I mean, you're not going to do much damage with this scout, but maybe checking out what the enemy players are doing. Actually, hold on. Oh, there's a dock. Whose dock is this? Dove Key. Okay. Maybe adding in some fish there. Maybe going for those shorefish. And Dove Key has first player up to Castle Age. No, second player. Third. Fourth. Wow, 2 players up to Castle Age already. Oh, but close. Severe weather. Oh, man. Oh, dude, that's a whole mess. That's a whole mess at home. You got work and all the kids and stuff. I mean, it's nice to have your kids around, I'm sure, but it's that extra layer level of stress if you need to make them do their school at the same time, right? Trade being added in super early from some of these players. I don't know that I like that. At this stage of the game, I think sending your villagers to gold and just mining that is going to be much more efficient. On the other hand, if you don't have as many TCs, right, with most players just on 1 or 2 TCs, the market is an extra building producing an eco unit, so you know you can make an argument for it. But trade units are pretty expensive, so you want to get those later in game when it's easier to probably. More TCs coming up. JD going for second TC. Darksack. Darksack also in a pretty cramped position, honestly. You can see he's already kind of struggling with where to put his units. And we have our first engagements. Some Knights by Lethalion going forward, but those won't be able to find much. There's a lot of crossbows and Knights here. And spears. And actually, Alpha Grippajar really needs to close this wall before that Knight army comes through. Yeah, or else he's dead. Yeah, well, that's how it goes, right? You get the severe weather, not when you did. Oh, town bell is rung. And Blue's eco is going to be idle for a minute. Just one Knight running around here. I think you send your spears after that and you're fine. Maybe pull these villagers for the meantime. You don't really want to fight the knight with villagers. That's going to be a lot. We do have the pikeman on the way though, so that knight will go down. Does only get one villager kill, so it's not terrible. However, Green's knights are through the palisade wall, which is not enough, and Alpha Gryffindor is going to have to figure out how to deal with this. He doesn't have any spearmen. That's unfortunate. Does have some men-at-arms here. Does have one spear. But it looks like... Okay. Okay, so JD's actually going to ignore that army and try back hit Lathalion in the pocket. And will, as a result, run into these elephants and knights, which isn't probably the engagement he wants. Barracks just now being rushed up. Khmer obviously not needing a barracks to be able to build a stable and archery range, so won't have spears ready. But still, I think with a bit of pulling villagers here, Lathalion is going to be able to keep this keep the damage fairly low. Does have definitely the army to clean it up. It's just kind of slow. But if they catch up to that and Alpha Gryffindor are following up, however, Alpha Gryffindor is still needing to worry about this push coming here. Needs you know, skirmishers aren't going to do much against rams. You're going to want cavalry or infantry there. Now you have the spearmen coming in. Alpha Gryffindor needs to get either a castle up, which he doesn't have the resources for yet, or try and maybe get some cavalry out. Does not have a stable yet, so probably you go men-at-arms here. Pikeman upgrade is coming in, that's good. And is building men-at-arms, but that's a lot of crossbows. And all his armies back here. You want to pull that back forward. Lathalion is coming forward with elephants and knights, which will be able to deal with this entire army pretty easily. There are a couple, well, there's 8 spears, which is annoying, but not a huge problem. Now, Alpha Gryffindor probably wants to keep these men-at-arms in the barracks until he has more of them, or else they're just going to get sniped like that. But the elephants are here. The elephants are here. They'll take down those rams real quick. Will go down fairly quickly to the spearmen, but the TC fire should do decently against the spears, and the elephants do have a lot of HP. So just off of that, they'll be able to clean up the spears, clean up the crossbows. But I think if you're Alpha Gryffindor, you can't afford a castle, so you just drop a stone wall. Stone wall behind this. Try and get that pressure off you. With that cleaned up, he is kind of down a fair amount of villagers at the moment. As we see a wolf actually chasing down these spears. And we do have more, okay, a lot of elephants now up here. An Imperial Age coming in from Raider Red. He has a castle here. Going into Boyar, which will do a solid job against cataphracts. Lots of castles here. I don't love the castle placement up here. I think you place one castle here for this wall, but I think the second castle goes down here to secure this. Because I don't think this Byzantine castle is doing much for you. Alpha Gryffindor are able to stabilize now. Got long swordsmen coming in. I think what probably want is second and third TCs from Alpha Gryffindor, Kinky Christmas Market, and Dark Zack to be able to get more villagers to really speed up their eco process. Yes, it eats a lot of food initially, and maybe Alpha Gryffindor, if he's facing pressure, can't do that right now. But if you have a chance to boom, probably go. We do have decent military number now, and no further pressure for the moment. Looks like T. Lassiter is going for a kind of defensive castle. I do like that positioning for him. It's a little bit on a hill. It shuts down this whole alley, right? But it does kind of encourage the enemy to go straight into JD's undefended eco. So something to keep in mind. Maybe you want to wall this section a bit or place a second castle here if you're JD. Okay, a little bit of action down here. Looks like a wolf is attacking a villager. Oh, villagers clean that up though. And the Boyar are forward, but that is a lot of pikemen. Yeah. Ooh, and yeah, Byzantine player going for full trash. Actually, we got scouts, we got camels, we got pikes, we got skirmishers, and you know it's all comparatively cheap units for. We'll accept the cav archers, but the rest cheap units for the Byzantines in particular. The water situation at home. Thanks for asking, Maz. It's better. So we have no more water coming in. We have one or two plumbing issues that we'll have to bring in a plumber to deal with. Just you know some leaks that we had before probably that just got a little bit worse. But that's it's not actively leaking. It's just you know somewhere we have to place a bucket because it's dripping, and we just want someone to come and close that out, and or maybe close it out ourselves. Figure out how to do that. But we're in a decent spot right now, and Svan Towers coming in for Georgians, so that will make your towers shoot additional arrows and guard tower. I don't know if that's worth it for just one tower, but it is sure securing this. Ooh, as we have a big fight here. Champion will clear all the trash units, so that's an excellent counter. Champions will clear everything here except for cav archers, if the cav archers are microing. However, Kiki Christmas is pulling his units away and into the castle fire, and yeah, Raider Red will want to retreat from that. Doesn't want to take that under the castle. Yeah, sure thing. Thanks for asking. It's Imperial Agent coming in for Dovekey. Big fight here, and yeah, the Slavs will win this out. A lot of, you know, the gold units against the trash units. Now the Boyar will actually not do too great against a bunch of these units. You can see there's only 3 left. Well, there's more down here, but the champions will clean everything. And champions are where Kinky Christmas Market really wants to be building his unique unit, really wants to cataphract, and there's the first one. But until he can build a little bit more, he's going to help from his pocket, which Dark Zack is still just fully eco-focused, but we do have some knights coming in from JD to help. Yeah, if you're Kinky Christmas Market, you maybe, and again, this is where you wanted the castle here, right, to shut down this whole alley. You do, well, it's too late now with the military in, but you could have maybe walled along here to keep your eco safe, but yeah, that's gonna hurt. He is up to the Imperial Age. Only 29 villagers and gonna lose a bunch more here. Does have some cataphract. Not any upgrades on those though, so those still won't do too great against this massive units, just on a numbers game. But they will at least encourage Raider Red to pull back a bit, and a lot of these units are low health now. So Raider Red is gonna leave for the time being? Nope, he's coming again. He's coming with Trebs. Okay, yeah. Cav Archers coming in from T. Lassiter. Those will do decently as long as he micros them. Does not have ballistics on them, but a fair amount of other upgrades, so they'll do decently. But that town center is in danger. The town center is in danger. There's more Boyar coming, and I think your Christmas market might be dead here. Doesn't have much left. The question is, can he keep any of his villagers alive and maybe build another town center somewhere? Yeah, Imperial Age was in for him. Okay. Oh man, that's a lot of mangonels. Elite upgrade coming in for the Boyar. And it looks like Dovekey is going into Paladin. We have Cavalier techs coming in. Oof. Yeah, Age of Conqueror is gonna want to find some sort of answer to this. I like this castle by Darkzak to kind of cordon this off, but he needs to be helping his flank player. Right now it's, I mean, the far flank is coming to help, but it's essentially a 2v1, right? We have Raider Red's big army backed up by some Cavalier from Dovekey, and they're just gonna push through here. Looks like down to 8 villagers, one here running for the hills. Are going to be able to escape with the castle fire taking on the units, I think. 5 villagers left. I think you garrison them in the castle, but yeah, they'll get away. But that's a fair amount of ground lost here. It is not optimal. Over here, just no man's land. And looks like we got a bit of standoff here. Alpha Group Enjoyer up to Imperial Age now as well. Ooh, Capped Ram. T-Lassiter going for a Cav Archer siege push, I guess. Drill coming in, which will make his siege units faster. Now, I'd like to see Raider Red come forward and maybe build a castle in here or a production unit, secure this area, and then keep pushing. You do have Darkzak kind of pushing forward with castle after castle, which will leave this area kind of locked down here. And we have another TC coming up here for Kinky Christmas Market. Not a fantastic place, but I mean, like, again, not much space. I think maybe back here might give him more space, but gonna be rough getting resources. Might need to get some from his allies. Ooh, Anar Perfusion coming in, which will let Alpha Grip Enjoyer build Huskarls from all of his barracks, giving him more production buildings. Which means he actually doesn't need 200 swordsmen if he's going full Huskarl, but you know, might be a nice fallback to have. And Asnari Cavalry. I'm not sure what that does for the Georgians. As all these buildings will be taken down. I like the addition of the monk to heal up these units. Gonna get a lot of value as we get another castle from Darkzak. Really committing to that. Now, what I'm still missing from Darkzak is military, because in Imperial Age, 13 spearmen aren't really going to do much. In fact, with the Trebs, where did the Trebs go? Yeah, with these Trebs, Raider Red could be hitting any of these castles right now. Not that one, maybe. But this one, this one, this one. As we have Trebs out in the north. Trebs coming out. Well, looks like we got a Treb war going. 200 swordsmen pushing forward. If they dive, they should be able to take out those Trebs. It's a lot of Cav Archers, though. But you have ballast elephants to back this up. Now, this castle, I think, will go down. But the counter Trebs should be able to take out this one as well. And given that you have another 2 castles here, I think you're okay. You have some rams here, not garrisoned, so they're a bit slow, so you probably want to send the infantry separate, but you know, the Cav Archers are running, the ballast elephants are pushing, and does the castle go down? It's being repaired. 1 Treb goes down. Second Treb is still up. Second Treb is still up, goes down, and the castle stands. Castle stands, and in the south, Raider Red is trebbing away at the Kinky Christmas Market's only castle, so that'll go down, and now they can kind of choose which way they want to push, either through here or through here. Oh no, Kinky Christmas Market did get a second castle up. But probably want to push through here, right? It's 1 castle or 4 that you're going through. Up in the north, again, skirms won't do much against this, but the Huskarl and infantry will shred this ram in no time. As we have halberdier coming in, siege engineers. And we have some Mangudai being mixed in here. Fantastic unit, but take forever to build. So Lassiter needs more castles if he wants to go Mangudai, and needs to make sure to keep this castle up. And right now he's 1 versus 2. As this castle's being pushed down, so JD's actually going to focus down here, going to try and run the latest in. Might snipe the Treb. They do a lot of damage, but no, the Treb stays up. Took a lot of damage though, given that was only 4 units, and the castle goes down. And now JD's going to want to re-wall. He needs to need defensive position here. What I think I'm really missing right now from the Age of Conquerors team is just military units, right? The eco count is actually sort of even, but there's 100 more military or Forgotten Empires out. And it shows, right? Every matchup, they have just way more units available. It's 2 armies here versus 1. Here, this. Still not seeing any army from Darkzak. Really need to be utilizing, right? You bring in some Janissaries with that extra range, going to do fantastic. Add some bombard cannons, maybe. And here, well, I think these Trebs are out of range, and that one will go down. Ooh, yeah, it does go down. So, T. Lassiter is defended for now. It's going to repair that castle. Pull back the Mangudai out of the castle fire, that's good, and going to want to kite back away from those halberdiers. But Alpha Grip here is now with 2 Trebs, and T. Lassiter doesn't have that many use. I guess he could dive it. Gonna be expensive, but he could. JD's been pushed back. Kinky Christmas Market going for another defensive castle here, though, and if you wall off, you're in a decent position here. I mean, Manaspar obviously still super dangerous, but there's only 13 now, which could be a lot worse. And I think in these numbers, I think the pikes do okay, but the pikes won't do well against the champions. So you want to take this engagement with the knights. If ideally even wait for Cavalier to come in and then take this engagement. However, 2 armies versus 1, and T. Lassiter getting pushed back steadily. Another Treb gets sniped from him. His army's kind of melting against just the sheer numbers that he's facing. And this Treb will also be sniped, so Alpha Grip Enjoyer. This is Alpha Grip Enjoyer's castle. We'll keep that up. And I hear rams somewhere. Who has rams? Oh, here? Ah, 2 here. Attacking Alpha Grip's castle. I think this one might go down. These sneaky rams actually push through. I think we'll take down that castle and be able to run in. On this side, though, it looks like the castle was denied and the fight was actually lost. This castle is going to go down now. Again, need to see walls here, guys. Gotta keep that army out somehow, right? And they're about to hit JD's eco. Good news for JD is he has resource for another castle that he can get up. Paladin is on the way. He just needs the numbers right now. And yeah, this castle does go down. Will be noted now, though, and the Manaspar are here to take out these rams, which will not take very long. And I mean, Alpha Grippinger, the castle from T. Lassiter went down as well, and Alpha Grippinger can still build his unique unit from his barracks because he has perfusion in. As we have artillery. Okay, artillery from Turks is great, but then you'll really need to build some gunpowder units. Because right now your artillery isn't benefiting any of this. But I like the thought. I like, you know, artillery is the right direction to be going. Now just add some of your Janissaries or hand cannons or bombard cannons behind that. Yeah, but the Manaspa are pushing in. And I think at this point, oof, the Manaspa, such a strong unit, right? They just melt buildings, and they are here in mass now, right? We were at 13 before, and now we're at 44 down here. And they're just melting everything. This castle maybe will go up. The Manaspa aren't paying attention right now, but it is only 4 villagers, and the Manaspa are getting closer. Ooh, the castle barely goes up. That was, what, half a second? It's going to go down quickly again if those Manaspa attack it, though, but it looks like they're going to regroup and head off to hit that trade, which also isn't great. More defensive castles coming up here, but, you know, defensive castles on their own won't do anything against these trebs. Trebs will outrange them. So, again, a few bombard cannons here to snipe the trebs, and you could be holding this push. Yeah. And I think this is just, I think Forgotten Empires is going to take this game, right? I'd really liked the early aggression from T. Lassiter here. I think the pockets just took a bit too long to boom up and come in with army. Age of Conquerors relying maybe a little bit too heavily on their castles in the south as well. And I mean, 3 trebs working away here. That castle's going down soon. And it's now almost 300 military to 20. So yeah, eco 258 villagers to 150. And yeah, this game is just about over, I think. As we are getting close to the time limit, actually. Yeah, I mean, still a decent eco going, particularly for T. Lassiter here. But all that military coming and you only have 1 castle, and most of these other players are, you know, at... Oh, it looks like Kinky Christmas Market was found and down completely, as I don't see any more unit. Yeah, he's out of units. Do have hand cannons being added now? Hand cannons will do decent against the champions, but I don't think there's actually champions left. What are you dealing with now? Siege Onager. I guess they're still not terrible. They just kind of need a meat shield in front of them. But I mean, yeah. The Huskarls and Ballast Elephant are pushing in here. Hussar being added in to just raid 3, 4 tribes now. This castle's gonna go down shortly. Oof. Space has almost as much purple as green in it, and you can see the Masp have just been wrecking building after building. Yeah, JD down to 7 villagers. Darkzak down to 30. Barely over 100 population for these 4 players combined, and that will just about do it, I think. Classic 1 hour 2-man saw coming in. Gotta boost the eco where you can, right? Villagers will run, but there's not really much left back here to run to. And now T. Lassiter's eco's under attack. He's being attacked by 3 armies. This TC is going. You can just see it melting under the Manaspa. And this one's not far behind either, being attacked by Trebs and Manaspa. It's a ridiculous unit, right? The Manaspa, but still well played by the by Forgotten Empires, right? Managed to stabilize from those early raids, and then came in pockets. You know, really liked the early push here from Raider Red, and Lethalian here in time to help Alpha Group Enjoyer stabilize. So yeah, well played. So game 1 goes to Forgotten Empires. Second, pull up game number 2. Which I don't know if these are in the correct order. But we will as we go. Hmm. Okay, we are live on game 2, which is taking place on Oasis. So we have kind of the Oasis in the middle, surrounded by a big wood line, and then the teams kind of scattered around in a big circle. Now I'm just gonna adjust some of these colors. I should have made red or red red. That's on me, guys. That's my bad. I think all the other colors are. Yeah. Okay, so we have Alpha Grip Enjoyer as Mongols on the flank, with Lethalian as Bulgarians in pocket behind him. Oh, I'm sorry, other way around. Lethalian on flank with Bulgarians, Alpha Grip Enjoyers as pocket with the Mongols, and I actually like that more. Again, um, this was game 1. Okay, so I do have them out of order, unfortunately. Um, yeah, I actually like that more, right? Bulgarians with the early infantry attack maybe, and then Mongols able to boom up. On the other side, Red forward with the Berbers, with the Franks in pocket. 2 cavalry civilizations. Berbers with a strong eco and able to just spam knights. I think they have. Oh, this is game 2. Okay. Okay, so maybe I do have them in the right order then. Perfect. That'd be great. And Frankish cavalry, right, 20% more HP. One of the classic paladin cavalry civilizations of the game. On the other side, we have Franks as well, actually, from JD, but with Japanese on flank. And Japanese infantry, Japanese halbs especially, will do real well against cavalry. Celts, another halb siege civilization, so we may actually see a lot of halbs here, which might be a problem for the cavalry civs, of which there are 3, I guess, although this is more cav archer than cav. And the Britons with the bows. Fantastic archer civilization, and the longbow's devastating. Do struggle a bit against siege, and obviously you ideally don't want to. Ideally, if you're the Britons, you want to be facing an infantry civilization, not a. Well, although you don't want to be facing an infantry siege civilization, so maybe this is fine. But we'll see how it is. Obviously, this map a lot more open, and actually it's interesting. You have kind of the smooth outline of the oasis here, and then you have these weird jagged pockets from Raider Red and Kinky Christmas Market, which might affect their wood lines a bit. It does mean that if they want to cut through to the middle, they'd have a much quicker time of it, but not terribly likely. Water doesn't usually play a big role in this game. But yeah, pretty calm for now. We have Blair setting up their ecos, got some defensive walls coming up here for Lethalian. Get those in place quick and find these early sheep, of which there are a lot of extra sheep out on the outside of the map, I believe. Groups of 3, which can kind of be found scattered all around. Let's see if I. Yeah, so you can kind of see, kind of scattered all around. I only got half the map here, but there's like 20 sheep there. So that's what, an additional 40 sheep or something like that in total, which is, a lot of extra food. spores being brought in, and I think we'll go for Christ. We do have these two players are super close to each other. Like if you compare the distance between these two mills to this over here, there's like a giant empty space. And ideally, I mean, Lethalion's simple walls that she sees are going to be up here, whereas if T Lassiter walls off, he'll probably go something like here. So big opportunity for Nomad's Land. Not so much here. These two players are really close to each other, so you got to go super defensive on these walls. And actually, well, I mean, this is the easier wall off for Raider Red, right? Between these wood lines. However, that also means that the berries and woodline can be ranged by a tower. This is a worse wall off for Kinky Crystal's Market, but if he can get these forward walls up, that'll help him, I think. But player's just content to boom up for now. It is the Dark Age, so probably not too much scouting going on for the moment, as Raider Red is the first player to click up the Feudal Age. And yeah, if you look at the scouting, I mean, actually, surprisingly missed it by like a tile. He hasn't seen this yet. On the other side, though, yeah, Lethalion has a pretty good idea of where T Lassiter's base is and what's in her pockets. That's gonna help her. On this side, yeah, T Lassiter has also found Lethalion, and with this scout from Kinky Christmas Market looping around, they'll actually know all the starting positions of. Actually, no, yeah, they'll see that. So they will be able to figure out where all their enemy is. So Kinky Christmas Market is aware that his enemy is here. As we have an argument about sheep stealing. So I don't know if the sheep stealing rule, I guess technically it's just a general laming ban. I guess you could make the argument that this map with the extra sheep, that you can snag the extra sheep, but you know, it's reasonable to keep that out. As Raider Red reaches Feudal Age, eco upgrades coming in as more players go up to the Feudal Age as well. I think all the flanks, well, most of the flanks should be up momentarily, not all of them. And we'll see if we go for any military. Looks like Doveki is housed, but she is currently going up to the Feudal Age, so that's okay. Just needs to get that house up in time if she wants to keep producing. Berries are gone for Kinky Christmas Market, and that's a lot of villagers he's gonna have to figure out what to do with. Probably is gonna want, yeah, send a bunch to wood and start building more farms. Maybe start moving to gold. And potentially think about military when you know your enemy is so close. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, well, I mean, the no laming might have even extended to the extra sheep. I'm actually not aware. I remember in one of the early games, I asked my teammates, like, are we allowed to lame or not? Because I'm pretty distinctly remember last year's tournament, or maybe it was the year before, where the Wolf King stole 2 sheep from under my TC. Oh no, back to work. So laming has happened in these tournaments, so I wasn't actually aware what the exact rules were on that. But yeah. Looks like the walls are going to be complete here. And yeah, more or less what I said, right? You're looking for those wood lines to kind of do some of the walling for you. And while these palisades won't hold the other player forever, they'll at least be an early system. Now, unfortunate particularly for T Lassiter and Alpha Group Enjoyer, they spawned super far away from the central wood, which you do have the extra, the small wood lines on the outside, which are plenty for the early age, but it is annoying to have to do that extra walk over here Once you reach Castle Age, you probably want to drop a TC right on that wood line to just have that consistent income and access. Oh, maybe some aggression here from Kimberly Christmas Market as we see a double range. And that is his scout, so might be looking to build some archers and snipe some of these villagers. Definitely has a potential to put on the pressure here. And double range as well from T. Lassiter. Gonna have a harder time. Does have the archers here. Will break in eventually, but for now, Lethalion actually house walling behind. As that villager will go down though to the archers. I don't know, is there? Yeah, villager does have loom. And you may need a second house here. I always struggle with the I think they can walk diagonally past this, so you may need a second house here. If the archers get through, but it looks like... Ooh, market wall, fancy. And it looks like T. Lassiter will try and find a different spot. Over here, skirmisher out and a third range up. Yep, there it is. I was gonna say, I want to see Kinky Christmas Market build a gold mining camp. Start mining some gold so you can produce archers, because skirms are great against archers, but they don't do fantastic damage against any other unit, really. You just need a lot more of them, and so like against villagers, archers are going to be much more effective, even if they do cost that gold. It is worth it. And Lethalion, first player up to Castle Age. A bit of an eco disadvantage right now, but some of that idle time obviously is from the Castle Age. And we do have good eco upgrades for Team Forgotten Empire. Now, on one hand, I like that Kinker Christmas Market is waiting, right? Because as I said, you want archers here. On the other hand, I'd like him to see him move out with these skirms and just start applying pressure, right? Raiderite has no military at all. He has one scout, but like, you even just put the skirmishers here and you're denying all these farms. You put them here and you're denying the farms and the wood line. And looks like, nope. Are they moving out? No, they're not. Get fletching on these bad boys and get a move on. And mix in some archers. As it looks on the other side, T. Lassiter has broken in, isn't on the wood line, and because those are actually manages to kind of trap in these villagers, yeah. Lethalion gonna lose 4 villagers here. That's a nice find by T. Lassiter, and he can move on, maybe pressure the gold next. Or even move on to this wood line, right? You have more exposed villagers over here. And the spearmen villagers are running. Castle Age is in, and T. Lassiter will move on, and he'll be able to probably hit out, right? And this is what I want to see Kinky Christmas Market doing. You have so much military. Go and use it. Go and use it. There's nothing here to stop you. Nothing at all. There's one scout, but you have, I mean, even at this point, skirmishers, 20 skirmishers will do that. They'll, push that all back. Use that military. Like that JD is adding a second TC, would like it even more if it was right on the wood line. You're gonna have long distance right now, right? But yeah, really good pressure here by T. Lassiter. Sniping more villagers, really hitting Lethalion's eco hard. She's down to 15 villagers. That's not where you want to be in Castle Age, right? Hey, Ellendale AoE, how's it going? Archers moving forward, and oh, looks like the skirms have moved out. There we go. And I mean, again, because their skirm's not doing massive damage, but you can see it's there's a panic reaction, panic stables coming up. Um, yeah, Raider Red is going to lose a couple villagers here. 2, maybe 3, not nearly as much damage as it could be, again, because it skirms a set of archers and because there's no fletching or anything on them. But applying some pressure. And in these numbers, the skirms can even take out the camel. Now you maybe split these skirms, send a couple here, send a couple there. Ooh, heavy stone walls coming up from Dovekey. It's like, oh, you're under attack, Raider Red? Let me just wall you out, keep myself safe here. Which is fair. If you don't know where that enemy military is, at least you have those walls. These archers here still idling the eco though, and honestly, if they loop around, they can find the wood line again. Italian down to 14 villagers, and 9 are on this wood line. You split the archers, send 3 here, send 3 there. You've basically killed this player. Even moving left and right is just forcing all the villagers to relocate, and they're still taking damage. Ooh, defensive castle now, and ooh, knights. Now, skirms will do terribly against knights. There are a couple of archers. There's, well, 1 archer. 2 archers? A couple of archers here. No, that's not crossbow for him. Castle Age just not coming in for Kinky Christmas Mark. He's pinging the castle has come up. He will get some Vil snipes here. I mean, he'll lose a lot of his army, and you'd like to see now he needs to leave, but also some eco damage being done here to Raider Red. Although having the monk to heal really helped. But these knights, you're going to have to find an answer to. Now's the time to wall this off and maybe retreat a bit. 3rd TC from Dovekey on the relic and wood line, I guess? JD coming in with a, well, just the scout, not yet. This side's still pushing though. Still got the crossbows. Ooh, and they found a lot more value. Lathalion actually down to 4 villagers. 4 villagers is not a good spot to be in, and I think they're all in the town center, yeah. Lathalion is just about out of the game. I think at this point you send some siege, right? Send a ram, follow this up, take down the TC, take her out of the game. And or send some military forward to hit this next player. As in these numbers, the crossbows will do fine against the cav archers. We'll take out the spearmen as well. On this side though, Forgotten Empires is managing to push. Well, sort of. You have camel archers, and the camel archers, now the skirms, those will do well against camel archers. Especially if you get elite skirm, and still missing that fletching upgrade from you, buddy. Which, I mean, +1 range, +1 attack is so helpful. Couple of knights here from Dovekey. Oh, the rams are here. The knights will be able to take those out. But where? Yeah, that's where you want the crossbows here. Well, you have some infantry coming, which actually the knights will counter the infantry as well. You want spears or maybe some archers, but more cavalry coming here. But you're basically winning 1v3, so this is fine. And where Dove here, Lathalion is forced to relocate her, what's left of her eco. And Alpha Grip going for a defensive castle here to try and slow this push down. It looks like they're just kind of giving up this space, and I think you have to, right? If you don't have military to push this forward. Overall military numbers are much better though for Forgotten Empire, so definitely have the chance to push back here. As we have a castle coming up here for Darkzak, which is gonna protect this gold and the trade a bit and slow down any potential pushes. Archer numbers growing, crossbows coming in. You'll love to see it. And I think crossbows should do decently against camel archers. Camel archers obviously stronger in numbers, but you have to produce them, and you know you have 5 ranges versus 1 castle. So if you can get the eco behind it set, you should be fine. This push was stopped for now, and looks like with the military protection, Lethal is going to try and reclaim her base. A couple of villagers repairing the TC here. Okay. Genitor, basically a mounted skirmisher. Actually not a terrible choice given that you know your opponent has been going crossbows. However, it looks like he's switching more into infantry as we have a mixture of spearmen and men-at-arms coming forward. Oh, longswordsmen even. And engagement here, yeah, as long as Alpha Grippenjar is paying attention and microing, he's going to be able to take out this entire army without it ever landing a hit. And I mean, even if you lose the skirms, that's not a huge loss. Skirms are cheap. And if you're going for Genitor anyway, you're happy to give those up. The knights will come in now and clean this up. On the other side, a second castle coming up. Darkzak kind of protecting, locking down this side. And eco count is in favor for Age of Conquerors by 20. Now you'll want to see some military production, right? JD does have 12 knights. Where are they? Looping around to this side, which is okay. You don't love it against camels, but it's not terrible. However, if you're going to send knights, you're going to want to loop them around into the eco. You don't want to fight under this castle. And yeah, the crossbows will do fine here. But fletching. Fletching is going to... Even Bodkin, you're Britons, right? You want to take advantage of that range, because with that you have more range than your enemy and can just sit out of their reach, keep kiting back, keep doing damage. Crucial upgrades here. As we have a slightly more aggressive castle, Raider Red slowly pushing his way forward and maybe securing his access to that stone. I want to see these knights used. They can do a lot of damage right now, right? You loop them around, you run into the eco. Sure, there's a couple of camels, but you have the numbers, and look at all that gold that you can hit. Castles coming up front and back here. If you want a castle here, that's fine, but then you probably, unless you have something else to back it up, want a stone wall or something, because Palisade won't hold Castle Age units for long. Couple of knights, couple of hits, that's gone. Castle coming up here for JD. Looks like Age of Conquerors is deciding to focus on Raider Red for now, and the knights are looping around. So let's see if they find much damage. Dovekey going up to the Imperial Age on 4 TCs. And it looks like the knights will just come back for now. More engagements here, just crossbow going forward. Yeah, bringing those back out of the castle fire. It's a good mass of crossbows. I like it. Just missing the upgrades. Okay. Decent mass here. Would like to see one of these two players add in maybe a scout or two, or maybe even just use a cavalry they have to do a bit of scouting. Maybe send some unit here, see what your enemy's up to, because if you see how exposed this is, you can run the cav archers through here, you can hit this wood line, and you can start getting that counter push going. And really, Age of Conquerors is kind of stalled out, and part of that is, right, you have so many knights here that you're not using. You're not taking advantage of your army. Right? You are still up in eco, but then if you want to lock down, you gotta lock down, right? Build some walls. Protect yourself. Wall off here, wall off here. Shut down the potential for raids. And looks like the knights are coming around now. And just run them in. There's so much eco. You have... Oh, well, you're missing the armor upgrades. Our first armor is coming in. I was gonna say that against the Vodkanero TCs won't do great, but still, it is a lot of knights. Cam archers being massed, but yeah, like I said, it takes a long time. And I think the crossbows could take this fight. Well, if they had their upgrades. If they had their upgrades. You don't get thumb ring as Britons, but you do have the range upgrades, and you could be outranging these units. Still, this fight is actually going to go decently for the crossbows. Yeah, I think it's gonna be just about a total clear, but again, harder to produce and mass cam archers than it is crossbows. So that's not terrible, as actually a couple of cam archers survived, but I think the infantry here will take them out. More castles here, stone walls coming up, Kerpost. I like this. You're right, like I said, securing this so you can boom. And if you secure this entire side, you can focus on this push here. You've got several players going Imperial Age, so you can throw out some trebs for soon. Actually, you already have Imperial Age from some of these players. I'd like to see a treb from JD and start hitting this castle. And we have a mix of Cav Archer and Mangadai. They got it. Oof. Want to avoid those mangonel shots, but will do just fine against the knights. Do have decent upgrades, yeah. 15 Mangadai, that's... Ooh, Samurai coming out. Yeah, I mean, Samurai with the bonus against unique units is great, but Mangadai can just kite them. And it looks like they'll just disengage for now. So a bit of a standoff still on this side, and more, look at all the castles we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 2 more coming up. This whole area is going to be so congested with castles. Lots of upgrades coming in. Yeah, Kinky Christmas is going to want to expand his eco, right? First of all, build a second TC, and also in a safe location. Increase your build count, and also give you a chance to 3-boom, because right now, if the cam archers come in and hit you, your eco's pretty exposed. Paladin coming in for Dovekey. And Elite Skirmisher for T-Lassiter. I guess that's decent. Ooh, Frank's going into infantry though. Don't love that. I think with your Frank's player you go Paladin. Okay. Treb is out for raid already, and he's going to start working away at these castles. Oof. And cam archers will take out the pikemen if you just send them in one at a time. Ooh, and that's quite a mess of camels. Now, the camels won't do great against castle fire. Ooh, throwing axemen. Interesting choice. Might actually be solid against camel archers. Right, you got the ranged melee damage, I think. You don't want to take that fight under the castle though. Oh, do have the Cavalier here to back it up, but Cavalier against again, this would be, I think, a really good fight if you weren't taking it under his castle fire. 4 trebs out now from Red to Red, and these castles are going to melt away. Cavalier diving for the trebs? No, for the castle, okay. Yeah, there you go. Relocating, gonna hit the trebs. Kill the trebs, kill the trebs. 1, 2, 3, there you go. Clears up most of those trebs. Not all of them, but that's definitely gonna slow down the push for a moment. And yeah, get that final treb as well. Very nice. Oof, just a wall of castles coming up here. Fortified wall. Still only palisade here though. But this section is very well fortified. On the other side, not bad either. Arbalest coming in. Missing ballistics. I don't know if Japanese get thumb ring. I would kind of assume not, since they're not an archer civ, and it'd be weird for a non-archer civ to have fully upgraded arbalest, but maybe. I do like the counter tribes. Dovekey does have the paladin numbers to just dive those though. And going down. Over here, oh my goodness. That's 40 elite Mangadai. I don't... What? Oh, elite janitor coming in. I was like, it says, how does it say they're elite already? But that is a nasty army right there. Yeah, you can see it, and it's just melting away. And yeah, you just, you know, kite back. Kite back, and the samurai just getting wrecked. Barely finding any hits here. Arbalest finding a bit of damage. Elite Woad Raider coming in from Darksack. Interesting. Definitely have potential here to do a lot of damage, especially because everything here is still open, right? You can still run them in, you can still raid. But you're gonna have to start moving on this push, right? You got 3 players here, and Dovekey is backing this up with Paladin soon. You gotta start being aggressive somewhere, Age of Conquerors, if you want to win this. You're ahead on eco, but that's only gonna carry you for so long. Okay, Longbowmen coming out for the Brits. I like it, but no upgrades. No, you need upgrades, my dude. They do? So Japanese have fully upgraded ARB. That's crazy. I did not know that. Oh man. Mangadai versus ARBs. Elite Mangadai versus ARBs, I should say. Halbs. But yeah, just pull them back further, close that gate. Close that gate. You don't want to let the Halbs up to your Mangadai. I mean, they'll melt, but it's still some damage you could be avoiding, right? But yeah, Alpha doing a solid job microing here, you know, pushing forward a bit, and then if T-Lassiter pushes back, he just kites back, kills some unit, and does it again. Ooh, that's okay. Few Halbs too many though, and Japanese Halbs will do a solid amount of damage. Does lose a Mangadai mask, still has... Oh no, the Genitor keeping the gate open. So the Halbs will run in. Or is the Treb keeping the gate open? Oh no, the Trebs are keeping the gate open. Big fight in the meantime on this side. Looks like we have Cavalier and Paladin on the way from the Franks player. And several Trebs out pushing back here now, taking down these castles. And once that castle is down, definitely huge opportunities to hit Raider Red. On this side, Alpha Grip's sort of stabilizing. Trading decently in theory, but yeah, the Paladin will definitely help. You don't want to be losing HP on those Mangadai, right? Just because they take so long to build up. But the push is happening here. We have Halbs, we have Cavalier, we have Trebs, we have Longbows behind. We have, ooh, that is 29 Elite Woad Raiders. You run those in there and let them go ham. And Paladin on the way from Celts as well, actually. And, I mean, yes, Camels counter Cavalry, but not in those numbers. And now Raider Red is going to get hit hard. And Lathalian's still kind of struggling to get that eco rolling, right? After that initial early hit being down to 4 villagers. Not able to contribute a whole lot yet. Definitely relying on her pocket to do that. But as long as a standoff is happening here, that's okay. But if Dovekey's on this side now, you want to push. Because you have a push coming here, so ideally Dovekey's actually helping on this side, right? This is a powerful push though, that's going to be hard to stop. Age of Conquerors now with a solid military advantage. And, you know, 40 eco, a bit idle though on both sides, so it's about even, I'd say. But the push is in. The push is in, and Raider Red is getting hit hard. Down to 1 TC. Oh, and all the trade is coming to this market out here, which means they have a potential for taking out all the trade. Dovekey does have some Trebs here, but yeah, all the trade cards are going to get sniped here. Okay, Halb's coming forward, gonna take out, I don't think they saved this castle, but they might keep this other one alive at least. And now Raider Red down the 20 vills. And on this side, still just kind of a standoff. Looks like the gate was trebbed down, and there was a bit of a push here. But that ended up getting denied. Looks like the side is stabilized. And they'll be okay for now. T. Lassiter is going to start pushing forward here slowly, I think. He just has comparable ecos, I guess. But if you lose all the Mangadai like that, it's not going to go well. But it's a slow push, right? And on this side, meanwhile, I mean... Oof, that is... I mean, it's a hidden TC, right? The forward TC, they never expect to find your eco inside their own eco. So that might actually... that might actually keep him alive a bit. But yeah, T. Lassiter is not in a great spot at the moment. And, oh no, there's a wolf there. Oh, it looks like Woad Raiders have come all the way across here. Couple Cav Archers? No, couple of, what do you call them? Not Boyars. I always mix up these ones. No, I think these are Boyars. Do get the wall off here, but that palisade is not going to last long. One shot from that Treb, I think. Although I guess the bigger danger is to the castle right now. What? I think Alpha Grip accidentally deleted that villager, because I didn't see the Treb shot landing there. Rip her. Okay, opens the palisades. Mangadai can come through and snipe this. Yeah, and Elite Mangadai will take this down pretty quickly. Just gotta get back before it. Gotta get away from those halbs. Get away from those halbs. Get away from those halbs. Oh no! Oof. And there's still a Treb working away here. Looks like this side is sort of stabilizing. Doveki does have a lot of military. The halbs are pushing in. Halbs will do fine against the Paladin and also against these longbows that have no upgrades on them. Yeah, as long as those longbows are unupgraded, they're not going to do much damage. And the Arbs are pushing in. The push is on here from T Lassiter. The push on that side is kind of stalled out for the moment, although they are still trebbing away, but pushing this side now as well. I think Age of Conqueror is in a good position to win this game. We've got that aggression happening finally, and the military numbers just aren't there for Forgotten Empires. 80 military versus 190. And more castles going down for Alpha Group, which means it's going to be harder and harder to get that Mangadai number back up. Maybe you want to consider switching into something else. And I mean, Genitor is actually not terrible against the Arbs. I don't hate Genitor, right? It'll do really nicely against the Arbs, which are the main damage here. And again, you can kite the Halbs with them. They won't do great against the Halbs, but they'll do okay. And after that, you just have the Trebs to worry about, which Conic. The Conics should do fine against that. As we have cheeky little raid Conics here. Pushes back on here though. Pushes back on, it's going forward. Now they are going to run into these walls. And this market is still up, so I think the trade is still getting hit. But they run into this stone wall and have to figure out what to do about that. Red is kind of boomed back up. This is kind of annoying with camel raids on the side. Alpha Grip going for another defensive castle here. You really want to rewall here, right? Just a gate here is going to close this wall off, and then you could place the castle way more forward. Samurai coming in. Reasonable number of elite Genitor here. And, ooh, I like the infantry edition. Those will do nicely against the Halbs, though I don't think against the Samurai. I mean, in a 3-to-1 they'll do fine, obviously. Full Genitor from Thalion as well. Over here, the camels are slowly pushing back. They're kind of hitting them in the flank, but the main push is just kind of waltzing through the base right now. These castles are still up, and it looks like there's no trebs to work on them for the moment. But, ooh, looks like a castle got denied here. And the wall, yeah, the wall is open. The Paladin are in. Doveke's eco is getting hit hard. Lost a TC there. And that castle, I think, is dead. 20 ditch, yep. Paladin spreading out, looking to do damage. And now, I mean, now you gotta figure out, can you push here? And if not, I think it's probably gonna get GG, because this side is gonna have such a hard time stabilizing. Red is doing damage, but I think that's really only gonna last until they turn around their armies and focus on them. And here come all the Halbs, and Camels against Halbs feels really bad. Just see the camels being shredded here. No, not quite fully upgraded Halbs for damage output, but you're really going for that bonus damage, right? This has been a good game. There's actually been a fair amount of back and forth. We've seen both sides pushing and being pushed on both flanks, which has been super interesting. Definitely big potential for both sides to win. Yeah, I think the key aspects were here. The early raid by T Lassiter here on Lethalion was huge. I think if he would have gone on to Alpha Grip and Jorah next, he could have killed this entire side. And I think Kinky Christmas Market needs to get upgrades. Because if he had Bracer on these longbowmen, if he had Ballistics, if he had Elite, if he had any of that, these would be devastating. But as it is, they're not contributing too much. On the other side, I think, oh, game goes to time. And yeah, Age of Conquerors will be victorious. So yeah, still well played. I think on the other side, Dovekey kind of split to both sides really hurt, right? Lethalion getting these palisade walls, but then nothing else behind them, or not having any military when there was military pushing. Yeah, no upgrades is really rough. Yeah, I mean this specific one, I think Age of Conquerors would have won this, right? Raider Red is, well, he's got his little base, but he's being pushed back. Um, Dovekey has some, but she's being raided everywhere. Raids are coming in on Alpha Grip from this side. Lethalion still hasn't made it up to 40 villagers. Well then, did I? I checked on the Blair community page, and I thought I read. If not, let me adjust that. That'd be awkward. An awkward thing to realize. 2 games in. Hold on, let me check that real quick. Okay. Okay, so according to the score leaderboards, Age of Kings, yeah, you are right. Whoops. That was Age of Kings. Okay, well, let me fix that. This is what happens when you give 2 teams almost the same name. Okay. So, 1-1 though. So we have a series. And we are just gonna hop over here for a second while I pull up game 3. And it looks like the games are in the right order. So next we are going to Arenaception. Ooh boy, it's getting late. I think I'll still try to finish casting this set at least. It'll make it super late, but I really don't want to cut off with like halfway through the series. Alright, however, Arenaception, and gotta switch some of these colors around again so that we're staying consistent. Most of them actually staying the same throughout, just Alpha Grip keeps switching with one or the other players. Hey, thanks, Maz. No, I mean, it's fine. I don't usually mind staying up long. I'm just trying to normalize my sleep schedule so that I'm not up till 4 in the morning every day like I have been. Because I need to start getting up in the mornings for work soon again. But, there you go. Okay, so, civilizations. Spanish, fantastic arena civ, right? You have Arenaception, you have that high potential for an early castle drop, and Conquistadores are a fantastic, unique unit. It's rough, man. It's rough being at work. Koreans also solid, right? You get that war wagon mass. It can be a lot of damage, and what else? Yeah, I think you go war wagons with Koreans. Uh, Huns, good paladin civ, so solid one to have in pocket here. And Italians also, the cheaper uptimes allow for a really fast imperial approach, or uh, potentially just use that save res somewhere else. Get a quick boom going. Solid archery and good hussar. Or solid arbs, I should say. So good civ to have here. Incas also we've seen perform pretty well this tournament. Um, good for a tower rush if you want that with a I think a not additional stone, but there's some bonus they get to stone or cheaper towers. I don't remember what exactly it is, but good for facing and obviously cheaper units. Going to be really nice. Able to spam eagles. Slingers able to counter a lot of infantry. Yeah, gonna have some solid options. Kameyuk, fantastic against cavalry. Teutons, Lethalians, I think favorite civilization, the one that we've seen her play most so far, at least in a lot of games and tournaments. Amazing civ to boom up with. Fantastic heavily armored paladin, heavily armored siege, just slow civilization, but so hard to stop. You know, the heavy infantry, the heavy cavalry, the heavy siege, and the castles with the extra range, obviously also super nice for locking down areas. Uh, Huns, yeah, like we said, Paladin Civ, going to be real solid. Interesting to see if these face off against each other. And for both of them, also the Tarkin's nice for taking down buildings. And then Lithuanians, really solid here if you can boom up. If you can get to latest, that's really great. And also on Arenaception specifically, you know where all the relics are, right? So you go out, you grab those, you get that +4 attack to your cavalry that's going to just do massive damage. And after that, the latest will just shred. That'd actually be a matchup I'd be interested to see is fully upgraded latest versus Manaspa. Because at that point, both units have insane bonuses. And I'm sure Manaspa are better at taking down buildings. But in a full fight, latest should at least trade pretty decently. For now, though, not much going on. Alpha Grippinger making absolute sure he doesn't get housed early. Would like to see that mill a little bit closer. Yep, lots of houses coming up here as well. Just checking Incas versus Spanish versus Lithuania. Sorry. Oh, that's gross. Oh, Maz, no, you're killing me, man. That's awful. You at least get to like take a nap in the afternoon or something. 4 hours of sleep is rough. Like, it's okay if you do that like one night or two, but if that's consistently 4 hours of sleep, that is. I mean, I'm also a person who really likes sleep, so maybe it's worse, but uh, this is why I have so much respect for parents, because I mean, maybe it gets better as you get older, but especially with like babies, all the nights where you just don't get any sleep and then still have to function as an adult. Just amazing. Amazing to me. Very, very calm start for teams here. Which is pretty normal exception, right? I like the walls here from Alpha Grip. Securing the side. Yeah, interesting. Walling the outside can be super easy or super difficult depending on the generation, because teams are always next to each other, but um, sometimes they're diagonal like this, and sometimes they're set up straight, and it's so much easier to get a wall off here on this short section than it is if you have to wall the corner. And then again, you have the difference between like here where you have all these wood lines that you can wall between, or here where it's basically open. Like Kinky Christmas Market is gonna have a super hard time walling like this. It's gonna just take forever. Probably better off just walling straight down here. It's gonna leave this gold exposed, but you can maybe go for that later. Um, what the issue with this obviously is that if you wall down on both sides, your trade, if you set it up, is gonna go in like a V shape, which is annoying. Ideally, you want it just corner to corner, but if you want this corner, you have to wall up here. You want this corner, you have to wall up here, and same goes for the other team, right? You need an aggressive wall if you want one of these corners so you can get your trade along that side. Feudal Age coming in, eco upgrades immediately for Dovekey, and I think we have some for T. Lassiter as well already, as well as Raider Red. Double bit axe and horse collar, obviously super helpful, especially to have early. Wheelbarrow also decent. I think wheelbarrow really becomes from what I've been seeing and hearing and researching myself. Wheelbarrow at like 10 farms is when you get wheelbarrow. Obviously, you have it earlier. It takes effect earlier. But you consider the trade-off of the effect you're getting versus how much it costs. And for an early upgrade, wheelbarrow is pretty expensive. So you really want to wait to a point where it maximizes utility. But if you have it, you have it, and you won't forget it later. And we have seen games, even with pros, where they forget. There was a game recently where Viper, I think, went the entire game and actually won without even having double bit axe. Like, this is a game that went post Imperial, and he did not have double bit axe or any of the falling wood upgrades. So I mean, you know, anything can happen. Last couple players reaching feudal, and actually Lathalion on their way up to Castle Age. It's a nice fast castle there. Let's see what she does with it. I think ideally, depending on how you're playing this, right? But I think a really good option for her would be to 1 or 2 scouts, some monks, and start getting those relics for Alpha, right? You want to secure these early, you want to get that Lithuanian bonus, and that's going to make this flank so much stronger. And if you have that castle advantage over everyone else, you can snag a bunch of these. Well, there's still, I think, a bit of misplaced walls here. Yeah, some of those being deleted again. As I think that was a bit of a misclick, looking more at these sideways walls.
Real raw friendship mode engaged.
Hey, Terog, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Alright, market coming up for Alpha Grip, so yeah, well, and a blacksmith, so maybe going fast castle, but maybe also just trying to get ready for trade, right? That is, I mean, you can put the market there, but given that then you have to run around this wood line, is not going to be, I think like this here is probably your most efficient position. Castle on the way for T. Lassiter as well. And looks like Lathalion is just going to go for a heavy boom as we see TC's number 2 and 3 coming up here. Also, not a bad option. I do want to see Forgotten Empires looking to get these relics. Because for them, it's important, right? In team games, relics are less important most of the time. Because you can generate gold through trade, so they're not important for that. However, they are important for the Lithuanians always. The good news is relics aren't super important for any of the Age of Kings players, so you know, you might still get a chance to get those for free. Yeah, we have the walls just about up here. The cheeky little forward, very picturesque. And And ooh, scout fight here, and it looks like I just saw the end of that, but I think T Lassiter Scout went down to Raider Red Scout, but then Raider Red Scout went down to the Spearman. More houses coming up. Oh yes, Alpha Grip housed and making sure that will not happen again for a while. Castle Age coming in for Dove Key and Raider Red. Yeah, so big, okay. Oh yeah, this is probably actually better to set up a trade corner to here at least rather than sending it from here because you lose so much time on this arc. So actually, I actually like this. With 3 players up to Castle Age, yeah, again, relics, right? Hun's player also up to Castle Age here, JD on his way up. Letching coming in from Thalion. Interesting. Is that just, it might just be, well, she's not on stone, but we can pretty much assume she's going to get castles at some point, right? And I kind of doubt the Teutons are going to go. They have a pretty weak archery range. I think they get crossbow, but they don't get arb. They do have hand cannons, but it's just, you know, you don't get you don't get bracer, you don't get arb. You really don't want to be going into ranged units. But yeah, it's going to stone, so getting that for the castle, I suppose. Lots of eco upgrades coming in all around. Trade also being set up here by... Ooh, where is this trade going? Oh, okay. That's... Ah, I missed that. How much gold was that? That's, 23 gold. Ah, that's actually more than I would have expected for that distance, but still, you wanna throw the markets out here, right? But again, you can't. You're not wall off. It was for the castles. Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That is the main reason for Teutons to get range upgrades is for their castles, right? Get the base range upgrade, get the unique upgrade, crenellations, and then go from there. Castle Age now on the way for the last 2 players, Alpha Grip and Kinky Christmas Market. As a young parent, there's a secret hormone or something like that which helps you to do things sleep-wise you can. Maybe. I wouldn't know. This is not any area I know about. But maybe some of the other parents in chat can speak to that. Hot take. Ooh, interesting walls. I think... Look, if you're going for these walls, just wall to the edge. It's cheaper. It's less wall. Or even wall here and here. But you are securing the stone, so you know there's value. 3 TC boom coming in here for JD and a defensive castle going up. Fair enough. Fair enough. Castle Age in, Fletching coming in for Dove Key as well, as she's also on a 3 TC boom, and for Huns, probably also Fletching for castles. Because you're probably going Cav. I guess you can go Cav Archer, but 4 hours of sleep for 2 days. Okay, yeah, that's still impressive. That's still rough. I mean, good for you. I still don't envy you on that. Okay, listen, my dude. You have all these walls. Why not just put the TC behind the wall? Or put the TC on the resources that you want. Do you like, at least, I do like the tower coming up. That is good. That is real nice. Oh. Oh, nice. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Welcome. I have a co-streamer, you guys. Co-caster.
Oh, I showed up perfectly on time when you're almost done, right?
Yeah, done. If by done you mean like halfway through game 3, maybe?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I had like of all the days for my work to go really long, today was the day. I was like, oh man.
Unfortunate. Yeah, it's been a super chaotic week for me. Like, after tournament day, I was like, oh, I have like 4 more days until work starts. I'll take one day and just cast, and then one day I had to go downtown and run errands, and one day I had a different appointment with friends, and one day it was randomly like, oh, you should go hang out with these people you haven't seen in a long time, and went Bible study, and it's just like, there's always
Busy
something.
man.
But yeah,
Yes, there is.
look at these skirms. I like these skirms just attacking these gables. Like, I dare you to come out here with this cav. Yeah, you have knights, but we have skirms.
It's driving his score up. His top score of his
Yeah,
team.
yeah, and that's why. Where is this
Alright.
trade card going?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, another reason I guess you don't want that trade around the corners is that your trade will take the shortest round, which is through the center. Which, unless you have a lot of locked gates, although then the trade will probably bug out.
Probably so. I would think. Yeah.
Okay,
They were
scouts.
thinking maybe.
Hmm?
Oh, I know. Sorry. I was saying, still on the trade thing. If they were thinking corner to corner, they were going from the farthest corner to the other farthest corner.
Yeah, well, I mean, they have it set up the right way, right? You have trade in the far back corner for Dovekey and Lethalion, and in the front corner here, sort of, for Alpha Grip, so that's fine. It's just Raider Red needs to build a market in one of those corners, so his trade doesn't go through the center. I do like from Alpha Grip to bring out the scouts, got some monks, gonna get those relics for the Lithuanians. Very good play.
Ooh, very nice play.
And
I did hear your commentary earlier about Latest versus Manaspa.
Manaspa, yeah. Have you tested that?
I have not. I still feel like the Manaspa would win solely because
I think so as well.
So fast. Like that, I think that was the thing I've noticed when I played with them is like I felt like I could trade and just have an army back up on the field well before my opponent.
Okay, fair. Yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be worth checking just in a straight up with like no reinforcements, 60v60 fully upgraded, just see how they trade against each other. Just to get a feel for that. Because that's possibly one of the only matchups I'm not pretty sure about how it ends.
because it's the high attack, right? So it's the high attack.
It's the high attack. Well, the high attack with ladies and they ignore the armor. And I think that kind of might be enough to counter all the bonus that the Manaspa get.
I wonder what the attack speed is too, because that does play a factor.
Yeah, and so like I think initially it might even favor Manaspa a bit, but if the numbers on both sides just go down and that bonus for the Manaspa decreases, I think if you got it down to like 20 versus 20, I think latest would have the edge. The question is if at that point it's 20 versus 20, or if it's 20 latest versus like 50 Manaspa at that point, and then it's like, well.
That's true. Well, back to this game.
Yeah, back to this game. Ooh, I like.
Difference is very close. Like they are.
They are neck and neck. I really like what Alpha Grip is doing here. He's coming down with the full forward wall at this point. He's committed. He's securing it with the castle. He's really securing this corner, like I said, you have to do to get a really clean trade route going. Now he still has all those houses in the way and walls and stuff to clean that up, but it's giving them the potential to do a back corner to back corner trade.
I like it. Oh, like great wall of houses. Whew. Thalion. Tucking in the corner with all the houses.
Yep, does not want to get housed this game. It's like, absolutely not. That's what, 20? No, not quite 28 houses. Hold on. 21 houses.
I love it. So uniform.
Yep. It's a little suburb right out there. Away from all the war and chaos.
If roads were a building that you could build in this game, Thalion would be the one that would build roads.
Yeah. Ooh, Castle. Oh no, wait. Dovekey and Alpha Grip are on the same team. I was like, they're like.
Ooh, Castle drop.
Just out of range. Well, I was like, it's gonna be interesting because Dovekey's castle ranges Alpha Grip's because she has Bodkin and he has no upgrades. But then I was like, oh wait, they're on the same team.
Well, so much for that hype.
Yeah.
However, I do like the double castle placement, especially Alpha Grip's castle placement, protecting both those golds.
Yeah, that
Like
is really
that's an
nice. That is
excellent, like
really, really nice.
long-term placement.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's often easy to like you want to castle drop and like show aggression, but however, like if you're not securing resources or taking your opponent off resources, then it loses some of the added benefit.
Yeah. Right, it's just maximizing the utility, right? Ooh. So, T. Lassiter is going Genoese Crossbowmen.
I like it.
I like this in theory against 3 Cav Civs, but he's up against the Incas player. That's potentially the only one that you don't make Genoese against and stick with Arb.
It could be awkward, especially because Raider Red is going Eagles, and
Ooh.
Eagles will shred.
Yeah, Alpha Grip denying a castle here from Kinky Christmas. That was going to be on his forward wall.
No Christmas for them.
Ooh, Christmas is going to have to delete that, or he's going to lose all the stone. 4 walls coming up from Alpha Grip, and I think these knights might be able to pick off some gold bills as well.
Ooh, I don't think he's going to delete it in time.
No, I don't think so either.
That's awkward.
Unfortunate. So, information-wise, and I think you might not know this, if you have, like, a castle that's 10% built, and you delete it, you get back all the stone you haven't used, in theory. So, like, you've built 10% of the castle, so you lose 10% of the stone, but you get back the other 90% of the castle that you never built, quote-unquote. And that's a way to kind of conserve resources, especially important for castles, because, you know, stone isn't easy to come by, and very limited resource.
I agree. I really like Alpha Grip's positioning. Like he's controlling the backside, he controls his gold. And I know he's trailing a little bit behind in Vills to the rest of his team, but he's also being a little active with his army, which none of the rest of his teammates currently are, it looks like.
He's being active with his army, and he has relics, right?
I was about to say, did he get the relics?
I can't see this, but I think so. Hold on, where's his monastery? He had a monastery up, he had monks. He did check the middle. Here, he's got 2 relics. He has 2 relics. Dovekey has 1.
Oh, Dovekey needs to donate that relic.
Yeah, Dovekey needs to give that relic
It's
to
so
her
easy
team
to
partner.
forget, though. It's so easy to forget that you have an ally that benefits from gold.
Yeah, but like, if there's one civ that you really want to donate, yeah, there's one civ that you absolutely want to donate your relics to, it's the Lithuanians, right? Everyone else you can make an argument for, well, they generate maybe a bit more or a bit of something else or whatever, but although I think most of those are team bonuses, so it's the same generation, right? Like the
I don't think the Aztecs faster gold generation is a team bonus.
No, it is a team bonus. That's their team bonus.
It is a team bonus?
The Aztec is definitely. I think clearly.
Burgundians maybe?
Burgundians is. I think.
It's a team bonus?
Yeah, because this is something that we did on our I think that's the reason we went. Well, part of the reason we really liked our Burgundians Aztecs comp on our Arena Seption game is that we had these hyper producing relics.
I thought Burgundians tech was you get food in addition to gold from from
Burgundians
trade.
No. Burgundian team bonus is relics generate both food and gold. I think Bengali is yeah, Bengali's trade units yield 10% food in addition to gold.
Okay.
So both B civs, both.
We've got JD is inside Raider Red's base. I see some green mass going in. I haven't quite caught up to your game yet. But...
Yep. On the other hand, okay, real quick. Alpha Grip does have 3 relics now, so in a good position, still 1 set extra. But yeah, the Tarkans are in nice. They're gonna be able to take down that castle.
Oh. Raider Red is in a little bit of hurt. Oh, but he's got his army coming.
Yeah, and he has elite eagles, which, especially if the Tarkans are ignoring them, will take out. Oh, and he has Kamyuk as well.
Oh.
Ooh, you don't. Ooh, not a lot of Kamyuk, just 2, but they'll still do solid damage.
What's the HP on the castle?
1,000 left. This castle's gonna stay up. There's only 2 Tarkans left, and there you go. But there's no hole in his ego. I think it's just the trade units going in and out here. Ah, yes. Red needs to delete that market absolutely and place it in the corner because right now partially Alpha Grip's trade is coming through the center to him.
Oh, that's awkward.
Yeah. He does have
Yeah.
eagle numbers. Lethalion has got Cavalier, so they're actually pushing the middle.
Economy is slightly in favor of Edge of Kings, though. I think that raid on Raider Red's base
Yeah,
help even out, but
definitely. Oh,
Lester kind of just shredding Thalion's army.
yeah. And honestly, you add some Genoese into there, that Cav is dead. And that's where you need... Okay, we have Tarkans coming in from Dovekey. But against Pikemen, Genoese, Tarkans aren't going to do much better. They will take out these war wagons, but this is...
The Tarkans will do quite well. They have more pierce armor than regular Cav. I think they're at
Yeah,
8. I think they're at
well, they'll
9
do
pierce
better against the
armor.
Arbs, but Genoese still counter them, essentially. Like, it's still not the best matchup you'd want. I mean...
But it's working.
It is working. They'll win. It's not super efficient trading, but it'll work, right? And it'll give Raider Red some more time to stabilize. And on the other side, I mean, we have
They
Cavalier
really need-
Latest, Cavalier Elite Latest out from Alpha Grip. Treb's down a
Look at that
castle.
army count. Army count is huge in favor of Forgotten Empires.
Yep. Yep, they can just push. I mean, Alpha Grip right now can just... There are 2 bombard cannons from Kinky Christmas, so he's gonna have to be careful with that Treb. But he could look at pushing in. He could also actually... He's got this little wall off with his gate. He could send some cav in there out to... There's a lot of TCs going up in the back here and no wall off. And on this side, the push is still happening. Lethalion here with Teutonic Knights now.
I think Darksack is just trickling in his war wagons. If he like massed up like 15, 20 of them before moving in,
Yeah.
they would be so much more effective. However, like JD has no army support for Talasser either. Like he has what 20 Tarkans somewhere, but where?
Yeah, and this is... Well,
Where are
they're out back. They're in the back. He's massing them up. I'm not sure what he's going to do with them.
If they're gonna keep Talasser alive, I think they really need
to get those in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of army pressure coming. Alright, so we've got Raider Red trepping down Talasser's castle.
Yep, on the other side, Alpha Grip knocking on the gates. And, ooh, Kinky Christmas bombard cannons will go out to snipe the Treb, and they will snipe
but
one,
there's-
but all 3 go down. And 2 more Trebs here from Lethalion. And,
What time
ooh,
are you at? Sorry.
50 minutes? 50
Even?
minutes? 50-30?
50-30. Okay, I'm just a few seconds behind now.
And Alpha Grip actually brought in some monks, is healing up some of that cav. You'll love to see it. Oof, T.
I really
Lassiter's
like it.
base is being overrun, and yeah,
Full rainbow. Like,
yeah,
even got red over here as well. Oh, wait, sorry, not red. I think you got
got
every player but
red.
Alpha Grip.
yeah. But you have Elite Eagles to snipe units and trade. You have Tarkans to melt the buildings. You have Paladins to kill the military. This is
the point where you insert Viper's voice screaming, "Where's my team?"
yeah, yeah, and ooh, okay. Alpha Grip is at the gate, but there's a Mangon on his army, super messed up, and big shot. Oof. That hurt. Oh,
nice.
finding good value against them. Alpha Grip actually using a lot of units to this Mangonel. And ultimately that push will be held. I guess the Treb is still there, but yeah. Manages to snipe that as well. Nice defense there from Kinky Christmas
I
Market.
like it. Mangonel got 7 kills.
And on the other side, oh, the Tarkans pushed through and are trying to hit Raider Red's base. They're back again, but there are a lot more Kamuk. There's 20 Kamuk there now. That's
those
not.
Kamuk are just gonna shred
Oof, those are some
Tarkans.
dead Tarkans right there.
Like if you're gonna raid, like
And
instead
elite
of focusing
Kamuk is
down
coming in.
buildings, like
Yeah.
kill villagers. Like that's what's going to win you games. Like
Yeah.
castles are great defensive buildings, but like
It's the eco that you want to go after. And I mean, yeah, Tarkans are great against buildings, but really you can't just have them one position with all the now elite Kamuk standing right there.
all right, so it looks like Darkzak is finally messing up his war wagons a little bit. I like to see it. So
That's solid. Forward castle positioning from Dovekey coming out now, protecting a bit of gold and kind of securing a forward position.
I would like it a little bit further forward so it can kind of secure both of those golds. But
Yeah.
at this point, Talaster is in a kind of a rough position. So
Yeah, I mean, he's relocated fair point of his eco back to the back corner, but Alpha Grip is now pushing the outside.
yeah, and a massive raid by Dovekey again with more Tarkans. Took one of Christmas's markets out, or one of his castles out. That is a lot of Tarkans.
Yeah, with the Treb support. Yeah, I guess the Lightus are dead, but they will actually snipe a lot of the siege, and the Tarkans are in. And
look at that army difference.
Yeah, I think Kinky Christmas has the right idea, right? He was going for kind of Halb with hand cannon behind, which is
I think so.
decent, but he just didn't have the numbers, and he's 1v2.
Correct. Yep.
Dark Zane, like you said, massing up the war wagons, but kind of to support the other flank, right? You have 3 players kind of losing T Lassiter.
Yeah.
So you have
like if you change instead of JD, instead of going just full Tarkans, which Tarkans are a great unit. However, if he goes Paladin, you've got more stable production. And they trade better versus other melee units.
Yeah.
And then that would give Talaster the support so he can use his ranged units to snipe the weaker ones.
And once you're in a pushing position where you're taking down enemy buildings, then you start mixing in some Tarkin maybe, but especially on the defensive, your Paladin are going to trade better. And he is mixing in some Cavalier here. So maybe thinking about doing that. Paladin on the way for Lithuanians player as well, though.
Look at those war wagons finally in action. Like they are just kind of shredding through Thalion's army. Like that's the thing. Like if you had been able to mass, maybe even support Christmas's side. Like but Christmas is essentially dead, down to 30-something villagers.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep, and most of them are right by this TC with that big mess. Loom is coming in for Christmas right now, and it's denied. Oh no! Loom is denied, and you have Latus and Tarkans right on top of your eco. That's awful.
All these visuals. I don't need Loom. I've got stone walls. I'll be fine.
And yeah, Christmas is pretty much out of the game. He's producing a couple more hand cannons, but no more villagers left.
All right, and we've got a Kamuk raid back in the back corner, killing some of Talaster's villagers that he hid.
Oh yeah, he's got some more there, doesn't he?
Very sneaky. I think there's not much left for, the Age of Kings. They're struggling.
I mean, you've got this kind of super fortified pocket, but that's not going to last long in a 2v4. Big massive war wagons here coming in to fight this group of Tarkans and try to snipe these Trebs to keep the castles alive. I mean, if you're going to stick with war wagons, you will need those.
Once again, you're talking about Tarkans with 8 pierce armor. Like they're doing hardly any damage.
They're doing very little damage. You do have another army of Tarkans running in behind here. It will snipe the Trebs at least and maybe help out the war wagons, but this is not a good engagement for the war wagons to be taking. Or at least you gotta be, well, I guess you can't micro back super well with something as slow as a war wagon against cavalry, but
even like a little bit of movement would help if you could get JD's Tarkans in front. Like
or bring the war wagons back under the castle, right? Get that little bit of extra support from the castle fire. Have another castle going up, but yeah, this mass is gonna go down, and now we have another big group of elite Latus coming in with more Trebs.
Latest was 16 plus 6. Oh,
That's a devastating attack. These
that
units are
is
ridiculous.
a lot of attack. Alright, so it looks like the Lithuanians have all 4 relics now. So I think there was some communication with your team.
Yeah, and I see a monk standing here from Dovekey beside that, so it looks like she
I
did bring
love
a
it.
relic over. Good
I was
team
like,
play. And
I like
Dovekey
it.
does keep the 5th relic, so, you know, still has one.
Perfect.
And you don't need more than 4 with Lithuanians, right? Because that's where your bonus max is out.
Alright, we got Town Bell from Dark Zack.
Yeah, I mean you have an army of elite eagles camped out beside an army of Ladas camped out beside an army of elite Tarkin camped out beside Pal. This is not a pretty situation to be in.
I don't know, those color combinations. It's kind of fun.
They look nice, but when they're about to attack your eco, it's a little bit
It's a little
unsettling.
less nice.
And actually, from the outside, the sneak Tarkin attack comes in.
Oh, and that's basically what happened to Christmas. Is like he got sandwiched. Like he had
Yeah.
the pressure from the front with the lightest, and then the Tarkins came in through the back.
Yeah, and
Similar
I mean,
concept.
similar concept. What?
I said similar concept
yeah.
was happening to Dark Sack base, though
Yeah.
there's a whole lot less Tarkins this time.
Yeah. And that is a super powerful play on Arenaception, right? You've hit them from 2 sides at once, because you can defend on 1 side, but it's so hard to defend on 2.
Right. It's one of the unique aspects, I think, of this style of map.
Yeah. Yep, and what makes this walling super important, right? With Alpha Grip's 2-3 layers of walls and castles, he's not going to get sandwiched anytime soon. And Raider Red also, I mean, not still kind of exposed, could get hit from 2 sides, sort of. But that wall off helping for sure.
Definitely.
And oh my goodness, what is this? 9 trebs.
Talk about trickle trebbing.
Not here. Those are some very dead farms. Imagine you're a farm just trying to like produce food and suddenly 9 trebs start shooting fireballs at you.
And Thalion doesn't even have Halbin. She just has Spikeman.
No.
But I think I know where all her gold investment for that Pike or the Halb upgrade went.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she needs Halb at this point. Do you have Arson coming in for her? Which will probably do more to help them take down buildings than Halb would.
Ooh, Christmas
away at
still
the
in the game. 3 hand
3
cannons
hand cannons.
left.
Let's go! Send the
Start of the
boys!
comeback. Does he have a monastery? No monastery.
Lightest in the back shredding TCs now, though. And honestly, in those numbers, they're doing that almost as fast as Manaspa are.
I agree.
Watching these
it's
melt.
just like, poof. What TC? Makes the Tarkins look very weak.
Yeah. Yeah, Tarkins feel like they've been a bit power crept. Ooh.
Oh.
The taunt, but not the all-player taunt.
Thought he was being clever, but in reality, only his team.
Well, now we've all seen it. Would be funny if his team had resigned, like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, those latest, though. Look at them go. On this side,
Beautiful.
Eagles. That's a lot of trade with nowhere to go in JD's base there. And that's
and
a
the Halb
very
upgrade
dead
is finally
castle.
in.
Let's go. Arson coming in for JD. Again, good upgrade if you're attacking buildings. When you're on the defensive, it's not going to do so much for you.
I think
And oof.
Age of Kings is trying to make it to the time limit, but I don't think they're gonna make it. What, another?
I mean,
7
they're
minutes?
down to below 100 pop combined,
Collectively?
and they're almost 10,000 score behind, so I don't think they're winning on that either.
They have to survive, what, 7 more in-game minutes? To make it to the game limit?
Yeah.
But at this point, this is the point where you resign. Like, you know the game is over.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's no coming back, right? You have 43 farmers, or villagers, down to 40 now, between 4 players versus 378. Little bit of a difference. In 18 military versus 300 483. Actually, Forgotten Empire is getting close to pop capping. I think, yeah, Alpha Group the only player who isn't.
I think that's one thing I would love to see Alpha Grip do is just add more economy. Like if he adds like 50 more vills,
Hmm.
he could support that lightest output. So like if his army gets cleaned up, like there's no economy to be able to
Yeah.
support that.
Well, I
At this
think
point, it doesn't matter, but
it doesn't matter at this point. I think if he's going full Lightus and wants to kind of have that option of throwing away an army, he's also going to need some more castles, because replenishing Lightus out of 2 castles is... I mean, you can always supplement it with Paladin, right? That's
right, which he's
that's
doing.
not a terrible unit.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's worse units out there than Paladin, or so I've been told.
Indeed.
Alpha Grip with the taunts again, but again, taunting only his own team.
This guy had a... Oh,
20
and there's...
30 pop. Now the question is, where is this pop? Alright, so we have 2 of the 3 hand cannoneers left in T. Lassiter's base, which comprises... Oh, no, and then we have some ARBs left and hand cannoneers coming out of these ranges, I think, that are queued up.
I think so.
And then the last villagers for Age of Kings, 21 of them, standing
Just
in the
chilling.
corner here, just like, we're not part of this. We don't know these guys. Leave us alone. We're just watching. And that's the game.
GG, well played.
Yeah. Yeah, really.
Dominant performance by Age of Conquerors on that map.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, not Age of Conquerors. They're the only team that isn't played.
Forgotten Empires. Yeah, I mean, I'll mix up after that.
Right? So confusing.
Like, I think that Age of Kings had their opportunities to do some good damage, but I think there was just a little lack of team army control. So, like, JD had that Tarkin mass, so, like, if he had moved forward through the front of the base, supported by the Italians' ranged units,
Yeah.
like, I think Raider Red would have been dead.
Yeah.
Or very close to it.
Yeah, because and even if that initial Tarkin raid had taken out Raider Red's military before trying to focus down that castle, and then like taken out the military and then focused on villagers, I think it would have done enough damage to kill off Raider Red, because he was in a really bad place. But then all the Tarkins attacked the castle, and then Raider Red's military took out the Tarkins, and that kind of shut that down.
All right. Well, I'm glad I was able to hop on for this last game here.
We still have one more in this set. Yeah, it was game 3, but apparently there was a 4th, at least according to my Rex. Hold on. Wait, then what is this? I have a Team Islands game. Oh no, this is no. Okay, this is from the other set. Yeah. I'm seeing. Oh, you know what? I think that's why I put in Age of Conquerors, because I read the top game and I read the players, and then I started from the bottom up, and there was the other set. Okay. There were only 3. Okay, yeah. So this 4th game I have is from the other set. So, yeah. Well, yeah, I thought maybe they played another one for fun or something like that, but yeah, fair enough. But yeah, well played it was fun to see both teams in action. And seeing some back and forth there, seeing different play styles. I think really big takeaways here for the players that want to improve, especially the newer ones, is stuff that actually I also were some of my first big learning points, which is getting your blacksmith upgrades. I think that one I was always pretty good with, but do get the blacksmith upgrades, especially for ranged units. The attack upgrade is so incredibly important, right? You're just hamstringing yourself. For cav and infantry, I think you usually go armor upgrades first. But ranged upgrades are so important because they not only increase your attack, but also your range. which like distance is such a huge weapon to have. Um, right, exactly. Exactly, and you wanna increase that damage output so you take out the enemy units before they get close to you, and the further away they are when you start, the better. Other big learning point I think is do add eco, adding eco. I think we had a couple players that were stuck at 60 villagers most games, and I get that. I think I started at like 30 villagers, and then Southpaw bugged me, and I went up to 40, and then he bugged me some more, and I went up to 45, and you know, 3 years later, I am breaking 100 villagers most games. Yeah, well, the games where I don't get hit and I'm too distracted or clown playing or something, I think looking back over some of our own game sets, I barely broke like 60 or 70 villagers on some of those games as well. So I understand the issue. Yeah. Well, there were some of those. The Aztecs game, I was just single TC clowning, which was great fun. And I listen. I have to say, I'm a little bit upset that Sir Wazell deleted that stable because I was ready to throw. He deleted it because I had redemption, yeah, redemption, and I was ready to throw the entire game to get Zalotl Warriors. Like I was gonna say, you know what, screw this whole plan, guys. I'm going Zalotl Warriors, and that's just. And then he deleted this game. I was like, well, never mind, fine. Very sad. Yeah. Huh. Yes. Yes. I mean, it's always knowing when to focus villagers and when to focus military units, but usually buildings are going to be your lowest priority in the food chain because you're sure your buildings produce the military units and stuff, but the villagers gather the resources to produce those military units, so you're still cutting off the production just at an earlier point. Um, and it's also more variety that you're killing off. Um, yeah, and I think one more thing is for the pocket players, and we saw a full variety, I think, in these three maps of that, where we had but pocket players being in a position knowing when to produce military and support your flank. We had some situations where the pocket hit the timing just right and came in there, saved their flank who was about to be overrun and carried the game. And we had pockets that didn't produce military the entire game. And it's like, yeah, you're safe, but I mean, you're still part of this team, right? um, so yeah, yeah, right, exactly. And that's where the pocket player or the flank player might say, "Hey, I'm getting pressured here. Can you maybe send something to help?" Um, and also, it's a question of learning the timings and knowing more or less when you probably want to start. And you know, um, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly it. And I think the servers should be back up by now. So can yeah, maybe. I was I was so annoyed when I found out they were doing server maintenance because I was like, this is my one section where I might be able to do a cast and the servers are down. Like, never mind, they're Rex. I can do this anyway. Very convenient. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And I will see if I get a chance to cast this other set at some point. Um, but yeah. Oh, they can't hear you anymore. Oh, right, because I went to. I keep forgetting that I have different sets, different. Wait, so hold on. What did we miss? Oh, you were.
They heard. I
What?
was muted. I think they heard you just fine.
No, no, no. But you had your main recommendation on gameplay.
Oh, was when you're raiding, instead of focusing buildings, focus on looking for villager kills because the villagers are what produces the economy to build.
Yeah.
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 Oh.
All right. Cool. Well, that's all from me for tonight. It was actually, by my
GG.
standards, not a super short stream. Just for Age of Empires standards, it was a short stream. But yeah, yeah, Maz, glad you got to do it. Hey, Maz, if you're interested in playing, community games are an awful, horrible time for us people in Germany, but every now and then it works out, and if we get enough of us, we can have our own community games at a reasonable
Yeah,
hour.
I was about
Uh,
to say.
so let me
And
know,
are you
and
just
yeah, I might invite you. I can, or yeah, I can for sure invite you over to the Blair community server, and we do have a couple German players. I think there's like 4 or 5 of us in Germany right now, so
I believe it's 4.
something like that. Yeah, we get
Yeah,
Maz,
you're
we'll have
welcome.
5. But yeah, good cast. Thanks for happening on Southpaw,
Yeah, you bet.
and yeah,
We'll chat at you later.
20 years ago. There you go. Time to come back, my dude. All right, have a good one, everyone.
Bye.